Okay, the contents of this chapter are this unit: Introduction to Cassandra, features of Cassandra, SQL, SQLS, crude collections, counter, list, set, map, and tracing. These are the contents of this chapter. We'll see one by one. Introduction to Cassandra. It is Tim Berners. Tim Berners is inventor of this World Wide Web, and he said today is a data is a precious thing and will last longer than the systems themselves. Now, the what is Apache Cassandra? Cassandra, and who started working on it? Apache Cassandra was born at Facebook. Apache, after Facebook open source the code in 2008, Cassandra became an Apache incubator project in the 2009 and subsequently became a top-level Apache project in 2010. It is a built on Amazon's Dynamo. It is built on Amazon Dynamo and Google's Bigtable. Cassandra does not compromise on availability. It focuses on availability. Since it does not have a master-slave architecture, there is no question of single point of failure. It does not compromise on availability, and it does not have master-slave architecture. There is no question of single point of failure, and this proves beneficial for business critical applications that need to be up and running always and cannot afford to go down ever. It is a column-oriented database. It is a column-oriented database designed to support. It is a column-oriented database designed to support peer-to-peer symmetric nodes instead of the master-slave architecture. It has adherence to the availability and partition tolerance properties of CAP. CAP, consistency, availability, partition tolerance. CAP theorem has three parts, and here this Cassandra. Cassandra compromises this C. C means consistency, and it as it has adherence, or it supports or focus on availability and partition tolerance. It takes care of consistency using base, and besides it takes care of the consistency using base. Basically, available soft state eventual consistency approach. It's a base approach. And these are the companies: Twitter, Netflix, Cisco, Adobe, eBay, and Rackspace. These are the companies deployed Cassandra and got benefit. These are the companies who used Cassandra and got benefit. Yes, the Twitter, Netflix, Cisco, Adobe, eBay, and Rackspace. They are the companies who got benefit because of deployment of Cassandra on their machines. Features of Cassandra, we'll see one by one. Its first feature is high scalability. Cassandra is highly scalable, which facilitates you to add more hardware, to attach more customers and more data as per requirement. It is a highly scalable. It's a high scalability. One first feature is high scalability. If you want to add more customers and more data, then we can easily add more hardware. Yes, our requirement is adding more customers and more data. Then for to satisfy that, we can add hardware. Second feature is rigid architecture. Cassandra has not a single point of failure, and it is continuously available for business critical applications that cannot afford to failure. Rigid architecture is as it is focusing on availability. It will not be down ever. It will run continuously, and because that very critical business applications are running on Cassandra. Fast linear scale performance. Cassandra is linearly scalable. It increases your throughput because it facilitates you to increase the number of nodes in a cluster. Therefore, it maintains a quick response. Fast linear performance. Cassandra is linearly scalable. It increases your throughput because It facilitates you to increase the number of nodes in the cluster. Therefore, it maintains a quick response time. Okay. Next feature is fault tolerance. Cassandra is fault tolerant. Suppose there are four nodes in a cluster. Here each node has a copy of same data. If one node is no longer serving, then other nodes can serve as per the request. It's a fault tolerance. It means suppose there are four nodes. One example is given. Four nodes are available, and any one of these nodes fails, then that data can be recovered for the remaining three nodes and can be continued. Fixed, flexible data storage. Flexible data storage. Cassandra supports all possible data formats like structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. Cassandra supports all possible data formats like structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. It has flexible data storage. It facilitates you to make changes to your data structure according to your need. Cassandra supports all possible data formats like structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. It facilitates you to make changes to your data structure according to your need. Next feature is easy data distribution. Easy data distribution. Data distribution in Cassandra is very easy. Data distribution in Cassandra is very because it provides the flexibility to distribute data where you need by replicating data across the multiple centers. There is a replication. Data is replicated and the data is kept at different location. Same copy is kept at different location. That's why data distribution is very easy. Now next feature is transaction support. Transaction support. Is Cassandra supports properties like atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. Transaction support. This Cassandra supports properties like atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. It supports this. In short, it supports acid properties. Fast writes. Cassandra was designed. Cassandra was designed to run on cheap commodity hardware. It performs blazing fast writes and can store hundreds of terabytes of data without sacrificing the read efficiency. Cassandra was designed to run on cheap commodity hardware. Then also it performs blazing fast writes and can store hundreds of terabytes of data without sacrificing the read efficiency. This is the beauty of Cassandra. We'll revise the features. It's a open source, distributed, decentralized, no single point of failure, collaborative, peer-to-peer, and elastic scalability. These are the features of Cassandra. Now we'll see specific features of Cassandra. Following are the features of Cassandra. First, peer-to-peer network, gossip and failure detection, partitioner, reflection factor, anti-entropy read repair, writes in Cassandra, hinted handoff, and tunable consistency. These are the different features of Cassandra. Previous where we discussed were the generalized features of Cassandra. Now let us discuss one by one. Peer-to-peer. Cassandra does not have a master-slave architecture, which means that it does not have single point of failure. See here, Cassandra does not have master-slave architecture, so there is no issue of failure, single point of failure. A node in Cassandra is structurally identical to any other node. In this Cassandra, all nodes are identical. In Cassandra, all nodes are identical. See this diagram. All nodes are identical. You can see that these nodes are identical. It tides over the problem failure by employing a peer-to-peer distributed system across the homogeneous nodes and peer-to-peer distributed system across. It tides over the problem failure by employing a peer-to-peer distributed system across the homogeneous node. It overcomes the problem failure by peer-to-peer distributed system across the homogeneous nodes. It ensures that data is distributed across all nodes in the cluster. It ensures that data is distributed across all nodes in the cluster. Each node exchanges information across the cluster every second. Gossips and failure detection. Gossip protocol is used for inter-ring communication. This gossip protocol is used for inter-ring communication. It is a peer-to-peer communication protocol which eases the discovery and sharing of the location and state information with other nodes in the cluster. It is a peer-to-peer communication protocol which eases the discovery and sharing of locations and state information with other nodes in the cluster. See this. A node only has to send out communication to a subset of other nodes. A node only has to send out the communication to a subset of other nodes. For repairing unread data, Cassandra uses what's called an anti-entropy version of gossip protocol. For repairing unread data, Cassandra uses what called as anti-entropy versions of gossip protocol. Partitional. A partitioner takes a call on how distributed data on the various nodes in a cluster. It also determines the node on which to place the very first copy of the data. Now, replication factor. Replication factor determines the number of copies of data that will be stored nodes in the cluster. Replication factor. In previous lecture, previous chapter, we have went to the replication factor means. Reflection factor is nothing but the copies, number of copies. So if reflection factor is 1 means there will be 1 copy. Reflection factor 2 means there are 2 copies, and reflection factor 3 means there are 3 copies are kept at different locations. And there are 2 reflection strategies are available, and this is a simple strategy and next is a network topology strategy. Anti-entropy and read repair. A cluster is made of several nodes. A cluster is made of several nodes. Since the cluster is constituted of commodity hardware, it is prone to failure. As we are using commodity hardware, it's a cheap, it's a general purpose, general hardware. It is because of that it is prone to failure. Because of that, there is a possibility of failure. In order to achieve fault tolerance, a given piece of data is replicated on one or more nodes. As this Cassandra is using commodity hardware, there is a possibility of failure, and to avoid that, piece of data is replicated. That data is replicated and kept at different nodes. It may be kept on one node or it may be kept on many more nodes. A client for repairing unread data, Cassandra uses an anti-entropy version of Gossip protocol. A client for repairing unread data, Cassandra uses an anti-entropy version of data. Anti-entropy implies comparing all replicas of each piece of data and updating each replica to the newer version. Writes in Cassandra. Cassandra, it writes very fast. In Cassandra, data is written very fast. There is a client that initiate write request. Where does it return and goes to? The first return. It is first returned to the commit log. A write is taken as successful only if it is written to the commit log. We can consider this write as successful if it is written to the commit log. We can say this write is successful when it is returned to commit log. The next step is push the write to a memory resident data structure called as a mem table. Mem table. And mem table stores writes in the stored order until reaching concurrent limits and then it is flushed. Next is hinted handoff. Why Cassandra is all for availability? Why this why we are seeing this Cassandra is focused on availability. It has strong adherence to the availability. It works on the philosophy that it will always be available for writes. Is assume that we have cluster of three nodes: node A, node B, node C. Node C is down for some reason. Node C is down for some reason. Let us say we are maintaining replicas of factor 2, which implies that two copies of each row will be stored on two different nodes. See, C node is failed, but our replication factor is 2, that's why we have two copies. Client makes a write request to node A. Node is coordinated. Node A is the coordinator and serves as a proxy between client and the node on which the replica is to be placed. The client writes row K, node A. Then node A then writes row K to the node B and stores a hint for node C. The hint will have following information. First, first hint is location of the node on which replica is to be placed. Second, version metadata, and third is actual data. When node C recovers and is back the functional self, node A reacts to the hint by forwarding the data to the node C. In this node C recovers with the previously hint provided. This is the diagrammatic view. Coordinator node A, node B, and node C. Suppose node C is crashed. Here this write writes and hint in your table. This write A writes hints on B, replicates things on B, and then when this C is recovered, then it takes this hint and start up. Tunnable consistency. One of the features of Cassandra that had made it immense popular is the ability to utilize tunnable consistency. Because of this tunnable consistency, this Cassandra became popular. The database system can go for either strong consistency or eventual consistency. Cassandra can cache in on the other flavors of consistency depending on the requirements. Now let us see SQL data types. There are different data types. Here with this Cassandra also there are a number of data types. We can see int, big int, double, float, boolean, block, counter, decimal, list, map, set, timestamp, varchar, variant text. These are the various built-in data types of Cassandra. These are the built-in data types of Cassandra. Int is 32-bit signed integer. Big int is 64-bit signed integer. Double 64-bit. IEEE 754 floating point. Float is 32-bit IEEE 740 floating point. Like this boolean is true or false. In this way, you can describe. These are the SQL, Cassandra Query Language data types. CQLS. CQLS. C stands for Cassandra, Q stands for query, L stands for language, and SH stands for shell. Cassandra Query Language Shell is called as the CQLS. CQLS is basically communication medium between Cassandra and the user. Yes, it is a simple medium, use communication medium between Cassandra and user. CQLS is platform that allow user to launch the Cassandra query language. CQLS LSH is a platform that allows users to launch the Cassandra query language CQ. It means with the CQLS, user can launch CQL. The user can perform many operations using CQLS. With this, user can perform many operations using CQLSH. Cassandra Query Language Shell. Some of them include defining a schema, inserting and altering data, executing query, etc. Is defining schema, inserting and altering data, executing a query, etc. It basically is a coding platform for Cassandra. It's a coding platform for the Cassandra. As a user can program Cassandra to work according to his requirement. He can use this SQLS for coding purpose and program according to his requirement. CRUD. Now let us see. CRUD. CRUD means create, read, update, and delete operations. How these CRUD operations are performed on this Cassandra. Now we will see as a objective, act, and all outcome based outcome in the sequence. First we will discuss objective, then how it acts, and what is the output. In this sequence we will discuss. First, our objective is to insert data in the column family student info. Now our objective is to insert data in student info and insert write one or more columns to a record in Cassandra table automatically. An insert statement does not return an output. See this, begin. Insert into student info, roll number, student name, date of joining, last exam, percentage, and values. 1. Michelle Storm, 2012, 329, and 69.6. In this way, we can insert the values. This roll number 1, student name Michelle Storm, date of joining 29th March 2012, and last exam percent, that is 69. In this we have to specify the fields and then these values. This is the first entry, then second entry, third entry. In the same way it is applicable. Outcome will be the entries are added to this. Now next is to view the data from the table student info. Now our objective is to view the data from the table student info. Now if we want to see the contents of student info, we can use select star from student info. If we execute this, if we want to view the data from student info, we have to use the select star from student info. It will display the data of the student. Here you can see the date of joining, roll number, date of joining, and this last percentage. Now next objective is to view only those records where roll number column either has a value 1 or 2 or 3. Yes, these are objective. Now how to view according to our requirement, that is our objective. Select star from student info where roll number in 1 comma 2 comma 3. This is the query. Then outcome will be roll number 1 2 3 will be displayed. Roll number 1 2 3 are displayed in a sequence. Percentage marks, student name, all the things are displayed. Now next is to create an index on the student name and column the student info. Column family use create index on student info student name. To execute query using the index define student name, here we have select star from student info where student name Stephen Fox, where student name is Stephen Fox. See this outcome, it will specify, it will show, it will give the student Fox. Roll number 2, objective. Next, let us create another index on the last exam percentage, one of the student info column family. Previously we used roll number. Here student info is last exam percentage. Okay, and here we can see create index on student for last and last. See this percentage given 80.81.7. Then it will find the student with percentage 81.7. So there is only one, that is David Fleming. So one is shown. Next, to specify the number of rows written in the output using limit, select roll number, hobbies, language, last exam percentage from student info, limit 2. It will show only 2. Now this to use columns alias from the column language in the student info table, we would like the column heading to be known language. Select roll number, language as known language from the student information. So it will display the language known. Is Hindi, English, Hindi, English, Hindi, English, French. Here we use select roll number, language as known language from student info. It will display like this. Now next is to update the value. Now we'll see CRUD. First we inserted, it means created. Then view means read. Now this update, CR. Now this U. To update the value held in the student name column of the student info, family to David Sheen for the record where roll number column has value 2. See update, see update student info set student name equal to David Sheen where roll number 2. It means it will update to the roll number 2. It will change roll number 2 to David Sheen. It will change roll number two's name, that is David Sheen. It will show roll number 2 and name is David Sheen. This is the update. Okay, it is update. Okay, let us see. Let us try updating values of primary key value. Update student info set roll number 6 where roll number 3. Now it will show. If we execute like this, it will show bad request. Primary key part roll number found in the set part. Now delete. Now our objective is to delete. To delete the column last exam percent from the student info table for the record where roll number is 2. In this way we can delete. Now our aim is to delete entry this delete last exam percentage from student info where roll number 2. It means it will delete the information of roll number 2. Yes, it will delete the entry of last exam percentage. It will become null. It means it will select roll number 2 and delete the value in the column last exam percentage. To delete a row where roll number 2 from the table student info. For the syntax is delete from student info where roll number 2. It means it will delete complete row. See this delete from student info where roll number 2. Select star from the student info where roll number 2. Yes, that roll number 2 is deleted. See, we'll stop here as the time is running out. As our 40 minutes are running out, that's why we'll stop here. We'll see in next lecture. Thank you.